What's going on, guys? Welcome to another Ticker video and welcome to the Ticker family. So the symbol we're going to be talking about today is HCMC, but specifically what we're going to be talking about is the recap response in opposition to dismiss failure with HCMC versus Phillip Morris and the infringement on the electronic pipe patents. And then we're going to touch base on Microcap Daily, on the lawsuit and how it's moving forward and what the key points are. And then last, we'll finish this video off with the LA Times and the Phillip Morris interview. For those that have been supporting me so far, guys, I really do appreciate it. Honestly, I cannot thank you enough. I'm sure you hear it all the time in all my videos, but seriously, I really can't thank you enough. And for those that are here for the first time, welcome to my channel. I really do appreciate, as always, you tuning in. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so as you can see, there is a lawsuit with HCMC versus Phillip Morris over these patents. If you actually go to Pacer Monitor, you'll be able to see the storyline of month by month, day by day of what's going on. So as you can see, you've got March 22nd all the way to April the 19th. So great little link for you to be able to see and maybe be able to dive in a little bit deeper, but I'm going to do my best to look at the key points like I was saying earlier on what you need to know. So this is the recap. So let's go ahead and get started with the introduction. So Healthier Choices complaint alleges the defendant infringe either literally or under the doctrine of equivalence the electronic pipe. So the defendant's motion misses the mark for several reasons. The complaint complies with the pleading requirements of this court with sufficient detail to put the defendant on fair notice of the plausible claims asserted and statement in support of thereof. I love the verbiage that they use on this. So, defendants themselves submitted to the FDA, which at best show the IQOS tobacco heating system is 97% combustion free, thereby admitting that some combustion does occur. Now, under the scientific review appended to their motion as allegedly proving that the IQOS system is combustion free. In fact, it shows that merely concluded that the defendant's data submitted to the FDA that combustion does not occur. The FDA statement relied on the defendants here neither refutes the 97% combustion free statement and set forth of the complaint. Now, Healthier Choice relies on admissions in documents that the defendant themselves submitted to the FDA was at best show that the IQOS tobacco heating system is, again, 97%. So it is concluded that the defendant's data submitted that the FDA suggests that the combustion does not occur. Now, the FDA statement relies upon the defendant that it refutes these 97%. So that's what it's all about. It's the 97% of combustion free of that statement. So the defendant's reliance on the FDA scientific review. And so it just goes on, but as you can see, that's what they're, honing over. And so this is where specifically the issue lies. Moreover, FDA's approval of the defendant, the system as a heat not burn device, does not answer the question of whether a small amount is combustion. This is why reliance on such extrinsic evidence is disfavored when construing the claims of the patent. Defendants boldly cite to extrinsic evidence for the truth of whether combustion occurs, a fact in dispute that is clearly inappropriate for the court to decide at the pleading stage. So as you can see, it's all about the combustion. Is it combusting or not? I mean, there's a lot of claims, even though the evidence is pretty significant and clear. And so with HCMC, they have, as you can see, 170 patents. So with that being known, what I want to point out now is going to be some of the key points, and then I'll touch base on what the latest is on the latest terms of the lawsuit. So let's actually look at these key points. So A, dismissal is not warranted because discovery has not happened yet and discovery is needed in order to determine whether combustion is a process that occurs in the accused devices. B, dismissal is not warranted without a claim construction that construes, amongst other terms, the term combustion, and the testimony by way of declaration explaining that is not dispositive based on the evidence presented by the PM's MTD. All right, so let's look at number 2. Rule 26F, meet and confer. This was on March 15, 2021. This is held in private between lead counsel for all parties. The parties are required to confer in person in effort to settle the case, discuss discovery, limit issues, and discuss the matters. So then we move over to March 25th. PM's reply to HCMC's opposition. Absent an extension of time, PM will have the opportunity to reply to HCMC's opposition brief regarding the MTD. Next, you've got number 4. So joint preliminary report and discovery plan. Absent an extension of time, the parties will file the report and plan that results from the parties' rule of 26. Then you've got May 12th. HCMC is due to serve contentions showing infringement where HCMC will identify. These are usually exchanged between the parties and not made public or filed publicly with sensitive information redacted. So why am I pointing this out? Why am I letting you know this information? So as you can see, we're kind of going through these months to see what's leading up to where we're at today. So it's kind of hard to read some of the verbiage, some of this jargon. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just trying to give you the information that I can see and then relay that information to you. So this is what I've got. So now let's actually look what the latest litigation is on what they're talking about, and then we'll finish with what Phillip Morris has to say in their interview, because I think it's pretty interesting. So again, there are pages and pages and pages of this, and I figured I could just highlight what I thought was the most important with the latest information. So let's take a look at what I highlighted. So in the overall motion to dismiss, the defendants explained that HCMC's complaint should be dismissed because it is premised on a wholly implausible allegation. So they say that IQOS devices specifically engineered to make combustion impossible. That is contradicted by the sole evidence plaintiff relies on to support it. For that reason, under the well-settled support court of 11th Circuit, the Federal Circuit law, the complaint is implausible on its face and should be dismissed. I mean, that's pretty interesting. So HCMC's opposition does not meaningfully address any of this. HCMC hides behind the procedural posture and a non-existence claim construction dispute in an attempt to convince the court to let its case get to discovery. The court should decline imposing that burden on their parties. So it makes me wonder, why is Phillip Morris so, it seems, fear of them letting it come to discovery on the fact that if it's not combustible at all and it's heat or it's not heat, then why wouldn't you just show it, prove it, and then it's end of case? Then you see it says it should not be given the opportunity to use the judicial process as leverage to extract a nuisance settlement. This case should end now. Wow, that's pretty interesting. So instead, HCMC attempts to manufacture ambiguity on the law and the facts where non-exist. So HCMC relies on outdated pleading standards and bad law. Man, I've never seen this before. It's a interesting choice of words. So the last part is the state a claim for patent infringement. A plaintiff need only include 1. An allegation of jurisdiction, 2. A statement that plaintiff owns the patent, 3. A statement that the defendant has been infringing the patent by making, selling, and using the device embodying the patent. 4. A statement that the plaintiff has given the defendant notice of its infringement. And 5. A demand for the injunction and the damages. So again, there is a lot of verbiage here. Hopefully that was added value and understanding of what exactly for the facts of what's going on between the two. So again, it's really interesting. So I'm just going to continue to update you. But actually, let's now look at Phillip Morris's interview and keywords that he's using. So now that you know what's going on behind the scenes with Phillip Morris and HCMC, I think this is pretty interesting article of what they're saying. So let's actually look at a few things. So they start off with the makers of these cigarette brands has a new mission, getting the world's $1 billion smokers to quit smoking. They say, you read that right. Phillip Morris International is trying to persuade customers to switch to its heated tobacco products, which it says are better alternatives because they are smoke-free. Eventually, the company hopes governments will regulate the cigarettes out of existence altogether. So I say, okay, that's really interesting. I see what you're saying. Now it says, although the Food and Drug Administration has authorized the commercialization of Phillip Morris's electronic device and is allowing it to be marketed as a modified risk tobacco product with reduced exposure, the agency said further scientific research was needed. Okay, so we keep reading. So it says, still, after nearly 2 centuries selling cigarettes, Phillip Morris is staking its future on its heat non-burn products, which is what the whole entire patent is literally over. Even as executives admit they take some time getting used to and that most smokers won't immediately enjoy them. The world's largest tobacco company has so far sunk more than $8.1 billion into developing its smoke-free business. So then here's the other point that I wanted to show you. So he says, converting the world's smokers in an extremely positive and lucrative business for us. In 10 to 15 years, we think cigarettes can be out of the market entirely. People will quit, or if they are still using nicotine, it'll be a non-combustible way. So again, he's using these key terms that's in this litigation and trying to twist it and trying to get ahead, knowing that clearly HCMC is ahead of this and in the right, and they're not. I mean, if you look at all the patents that HCMC has, this is a clear cut, at least in my eyes. Again, I'm not a lawyer or a financial advisor, but this is pretty straightforward from my understanding. Now, with that being said, guys, I really do appreciate you taking the time to listen to my video. It means a lot to me. I hope, though, that this was extra added value, just knowing what's going on, regardless of what your play is, and if that's long-term, short-term, whatever the case is. If you're trying to short squeeze, again, whatever you're trying to do, I hope this was added value. That way you know exactly what's going on with this company through in and throughout. So I really do appreciate it. And with that being said, welcome to the Ticker family.